So welcome to this video series on aptitude presented by Mentors for IAS in association with Bangalore IAS Academy and Namak APSC. So in this session as well, we will be continuing with the same concept or the same topic, that is time, speed and distance, but we'll try to solve different kinds of problems where you will be involving the same, that is relationship between time, distance and speed, but the concept, but the type of problems that we'll be dealing with today will be a bit different. So let us start with the first problem. Now, the first question says, two trains starting at the same time from two stations 200 kilometers apart and going in opposite directions cross each other at a distance of 110 kilometers from one of the stations. What is the ratio of their speeds? So what the question is saying is that there are two stations. Okay, so let us assume that the two stations are A and B. There are two trains, one train going in this direction, train A, and another train, that is train B, going in the opposite direction over here, and the distance between the two trains, sorry, the two stations is 200 kilometers. Now I'm actually hoping that you've gone through the previous video so that it will help you to understand these kind of problems in a better manner. Now the question is saying that both the trains start from each of these stations, that is station A and station B at the same time, and they start moving towards each other. Therefore they are moving in opposite directions. Now since they are moving in the opposite directions, they will meet somewhere in between A and B. Okay, so let me say that they meet somewhere here. So here the question is saying that the two trains are going in opposite direction and they cross each other at a distance of 110 kilometers from one of the stations. Now I don't know if this is 110 kilometers or if this is 110 kilometers. So let me assume that this is 110 kilometers and this is 90 kilometers. So train A covers 110 kilometers and train B covers 90 kilometers, and they finally meet. After meeting, train B will continue in its following journey and train A will follow in its continuous journey. Now the question is asking for what is the ratio of their speeds. That is, what is the ratio of the two trains? What is the ratio of the two trains, SA or SB? Or it could be SB or SA. Okay, now because the question is not specifying if it is the first train over the second train or the second train over the first train. Now we'll have to solve the problem in order to identify it from the options over here. Now if you have gone through the previous video, obviously you would try to start off with time is equal to distance by s1 plus s2, or in this case sa plus sb over here. Now this is true, this is valid over here because the distance is 200 kilometers, and since the two trains are moving towards each other or in opposite directions and they're both starting at the same time, you'll have to take the summation of speeds. This is true, but this is going to give you the time at which they meet, meaning the time taken by train A to cover 110 kilometers reach here, and the time taken by train B to cover the remaining distance, that is 90 kilometers, and reach here. That is the time. The time can be determined in this manner. So if you've understood this, you should also be able to appreciate that the time taken by train A to cover 110 kilometers and reach here, and the time taken by train B to cover the remaining 90 kilometers and reach here is the same. So the time taken by train A and train B to cover the respective distances of 110 and 90 kilometers remains the same. Therefore, can I say that if this time is the same, then train A takes the same amount of time to cover 110 kilometers if it is moving at speed A. Similarly, Train B will also take the same amount of time to cover 90 kilometers when traveling at speed B. What is the question asking for? Question is asking for the ratio of SA and SB, or SB and SA. Now we have T is equal to 110 by SA, also T is equal to 90 by SB. Therefore 110 SA is equal to 90 divided by SB. 0 and 0 cancels. I will take SA over here and 9 over here. So what do I get? I get 11 by 9 is equal to SA by SB. This is the ratio of the two speeds. Do we have 11:9? Of course we have 11:9. So the correct answer is 11:9, option B. If the option did not have 11:9, instead if it did have 9:11, this is also correct, then it would have been nothing but SB by SA is equal to 9 by 11. That is SB is to SA is nothing but 9:11. It is nothing but the same thing, 9:11 or 11:9. Therefore the correct option over here is option B. But in order to understand this, in order to appreciate this, you should be able to understand what this is trying to signify or determine over here. So the correct answer is obviously 11:9. Next problem. Now, question 2 says a thief steals a car at 2:30 p.m. and drives it at 60 kilometers per hour. The theft is discovered at 3 p.m. and the owner chases the thief in another car at 75 kilometers per hour. When will he catch up with the thief? So what the question is trying to say is, say for example, this is the home of the owner. So the thief steals his car and then he actually drives away with the car. He drives away with the car. Okay, so the thief will drive away with the car over here. At what time? He drives away from his home at 2:30 p.m. at a speed of 60 kilometers per hour. The owner discovers the theft at 3 p.m. and he starts to chase the thief in another car. At a speed of 75 kilometers per hour. So the question is asking how much time will the owner take to catch up with the thief? That is the question over here. Now, in order for you to appreciate this, once again, it is important that you have already gone through the questions in the previous video. Now, in the previous video, I did explain to you as to, sorry, not distance, time is nothing but distance over the summation of the two speeds. So whenever two bodies are moving opposite each other, they're moving towards each other or away from each other, you always take the summation of speeds. But in this particular case over here, if you read the question, they're not moving towards each other, they're not moving away from each other, they're not moving in opposite direction. Rather, they are moving in the same direction. They're moving in the same direction. So whenever the question says they are moving in the same direction, or one person or one car or one train is trying to chase the other person, the other car or the other train, or one car is trying to race the other, or one car is trying to race or overtake the other car, then what is the time to catch up? Then you don't take the summation, rather you take the difference. I hope you understood the difference. Now you have to please remember this. Whenever the question says moving in opposite direction towards each other or away from each other, then it is the summation, S1 plus S2. However, if the question says same direction, chasing, racing, or trying to overtake, or trying to catch up, whenever the question uses these kind of words over here, then it is not sum, but rather it is a difference, and I will explain why we have to take the difference. So the similar kind of example as I had used in the previous video to explain why it is the summation over here. So what we will do is we will once again take two trains itself. Okay, so let the distance between two stations be 1000 kilometers. Let it be 1000 kilometers. There is train A over here and there is train B over here. Now train A starts to move in this direction at a speed of 200 kilometers. At a speed of 200 kilometers per hour. Here there is train B. Train B is also moving in the same direction but at the speed of 100 kilometers per hour. So now the question would be, how much time will train A take to catch up with train B? See, obviously the speed of train A has to be greater than the speed of train B. Only then can train A catch up with train B, or else train A will never catch up with train B. Therefore, the speed of train A should always be greater than the speed of train B. So, if it is trying to catch up, what is going to happen? If this is traveling at a speed of 200 kilometers per hour, in 1 hour, what is the distance covered? It would have covered a distance of 200 kilometers. It would have covered a distance of 200 kilometers. The original distance was 1000 kilometers, but now in 1 hour it has covered a distance of 200 kilometers. Similarly, train B. How much distance does train B cover in 1 hour? Since it is moving at 100 kilometers per hour, it would have covered 100 kilometers. Now, after 1 hour, what is the distance between what is the distance between train A and train B? Initially, it was 1000 kilometers, but after 1 hour, what is the distance now? See here, train A has already covered 200 kilometers of 1000 kilometers. What is the remaining distance from here to here? From here to here, what is the distance? It is 800 kilometers. Plus train B has moved another 100 kilometers. So now the distance has been reduced to 900 kilometers. So now the distance between train A and train B has reduced to 900 kilometers from 1000 kilometers. Don't you think this is as good as just one train covering this distance of 1000 kilometers at a speed of 100 kilometers per hour? Correct? Because if there is a train which is moving at 100 kilometers per hour, in 1 hour, what is the distance that would be covered? 100 kilometers. What is the remaining distance to be covered? 900 kilometers. The same scenario over here. How did you get this 100 kilometers? 200 minus 100. 200 minus 100 is also equal to 100. That is why if two trains, two cars, two persons, two planes, two ships are moving in the same direction, where one is moving at a greater speed, and if you want to find out the time taken by the entity moving at a greater speed to catch up with the other entity, then you have to take the difference of the speeds as is taken here, as I've shown it to you over here. Therefore, it is not t is equal to d by s1 plus s2, rather it is t is equal to d by s1 minus s2 over here. So coming back to our problem, the thief starts to run away at 2:30 p.m. at a speed of 60 kilometers, whereas the owner starts to chase at 3 p.m. at 75 kilometers. So now what do we have to do? We have to find out the time taken by the owner to catch up with the thief. So then it will have to be time is nothing but d is equal to s1 minus s2. What is distance? Distance is nothing but the gap between the owner and the thief. What is the gap? The gap is nothing but the distance traveled by the thief in that half an hour. In that half an hour, what is the distance traveled by the thief? If the thief is moving at 60 kilometers per hour in half an hour, 2:30 p.m. to 3 p.m., what is the distance covered by him? Nothing but 30 kilometers. This is nothing but 30 kilometers. Now, the owner is traveling at 75 kilometers per hour and the what do you say, thief is traveling at 60 kilometers. But therefore, it is 75 minus 60. What do we get? We get 30 divided by 75 minus 60 is nothing but 15, 2 hours. So the owner will take 2 hours to catch up with the thief. 2 hours after when? 2 hours after 3 p.m. not 2:30 p.m. Don't make the mistake of 2 hours after 2:30 p.m. and mark 4:30. No, 2 hours after 3 p.m. Therefore, the correct answer is 5 p.m. option C. This option C. Therefore, the correct answer is 5 p.m. I hope you understood. If you do have any practice problems, or you can simply Google and find out more problems to solve of this type, please do solve them. Next question. Okay, we have another question over here. Question 3 says two bicycle riders ride in the opposite direction around a circular track. Starting at the time from the same point, starting at the time from the starting at the same time. Sorry, I think it should have been same time over here. Starting at the same time, two bicycle riders ride in the opposite directions around a circular track, starting at the same time from the same point. Cyclist A rides at a speed of 3 kilometers per hour and cyclist B rides at a speed of 1 kilometer per hour. If the track has a diameter of 4 kilometers, after how much time will the two cyclists meet each other? So what the question is saying is that there is a circular track. There is a circular track. Okay. Now, both the riders, both the cyclists A and B are at the same point. Let me take it as the origin. Okay, let me take it as the origin. Now, cyclist A and cyclist B start riding in the opposite direction. So, let me assume cyclist A starts riding in this direction, then cyclist B will start riding in the opposite direction. Cyclist A rides at a speed of 3 kilometers per hour, whereas cyclist B rides at a speed of 1 kilometer per hour. He rides at a speed of 1 kilometer per hour. The track has, if this is the center, the track has a diameter, of 4 kilometers, or I can say the radius of the track is equal to 2 kilometers. So after how much time will the two cyclists meet each other? Now I've diagrammatically represented the entire scenario over here. This is very similar to the kind of problems that we had done earlier. Please try to solve it by yourself. See if you're able to do this particular problem by yourself. Please do check for the answer to see if you're able to do this. If you're able to do this, it means that you have understood the concept. You should be able to solve more problems. It does not matter how they twist the question. See, this is a very similar concept, except that they have twisted the question. See, it is very similar. So in the previous video, we had done a problem where I think if I'm not wrong, two trains started off in the same direction and sorry, from the same point, and they started moving in opposite directions. So the question was asking what is the time taken by the two trains to be around 156 kilometers apart, something like that. So this is also the same thing. Now two cyclists are moving in opposite directions. Therefore, T is equal to distance divided by S1 plus S2. So the question is obviously asking for the time taken by the two cyclists to meet each other. Now here, what is the distance between them? What is the distance between A and B? The distance between A and B will nothing but be the circumference of the circular track. Say for example, they will meet somewhere here. They will meet somewhere here. So this is the distance traveled by A. This is the distance traveled by B, for example. I'm just representing this. So then what is the total distance traveled by them? That will be the total distance traveled by A plus the distance traveled by B. This is nothing but the circumference of the circular track. So distance over here is nothing but the circumference of the track. Circumference of a track is always determined by 2 pi r, or this is nothing but pi into the diameter. Okay, please don't make the mistake. 2 pi r, r is radius 2 kilometers. Don't insert 4 here. Don't insert 4 here. We always tend to make that mistake. We tend to take radius as diameter and diameter as radius. So in order to find the time taken, what do we have to do? We will take 2 pi r divided by the speed of the cyclist A, the speed of the cyclist B over here. So this is 2 into pi See, I'm not going to take pi as 3.14 unnecessarily complicate things, because I already have pi over here. Everything is represented in terms of pi itself. R is what is the radius? Radius is 2 divided by the summation of the two speeds. It is 3 plus 1. 3 plus 1. So what do we get? 2 into 2 is 4 pi divided by 3 plus 1 is 4. 4 gets cancelled. You only have pi remaining. So the correct option is pi hours. It is pi hours. Please, if don't make this mistake, if you had inserted radius r as 4 itself instead of 2, if you had inserted it as 4 itself, then you'd have got 2 pi hours. See, they have already mentioned 2 pi hours because they know that somebody will make this mistake, because it's a very simple and easy mistake to make. They would have marked option A, but no, the correct answer is option C. It is pi hours. It is pi hours. Therefore, it is option C, pi hours. Now let us move on to question number 4. Now question number 4, okay, the answer has already been given here. Now fine, it doesn't matter. The question number 4 is again with respect to time, speed and distance, but it is a question which involves racing between different individuals. It is a problem which involves racing between different individuals over here. So what we have to do over here is, the question says in a 100-meter race, A can beat B by 25 meters and B can beat C by 4 meters. In the same race, by how many meters can A beat C? Now I'm pretty sure everybody understands this, but in case anybody does not, let me just quickly explain it. Okay, so there's a 100-meter race. There's a 100-meter race. Now if A and B, it's a running race. If A and B compete in a running race, A will complete 100 meters. A would cross the finishing line, whereas B will still be 25 meters behind him. Meaning the time taken by A to cover 100 meters, the time taken by A to cover 100 meters is also the time taken by B to cover 75 meters. That is why A can beat B by 25 meters. Similarly, if B and C take the race, that is a 100-meter race, B can beat C by 4 meters. Meaning when B crosses the finishing line, C would have been 4 meters behind him. 4 meters behind him. Or he would have only covered 96 meters. Meaning the time taken by B to cover 100 meters is also the time taken by C to cover 4 meters. Is also the time taken to cover 4 meters. I hope you understood this particular concept over here. So now the question is asking, in the same race, by how many meters can A beat C? So if A is going to compete with C, in how many meters can A beat C over here? So let us try and solve this particular question. So I hope you understood this concept over here. Now what we will do is that we will take the time taken by A, to cover 100 meters. So A will be running at a speed of SA. Okay, so time taken by A to cover 100 meters is what? 100 by SA. Now here we already know that TA is also the time taken by B to cover 75 meters running at SB speed. The time taken by A to cover 100 meters is also equal to the time taken by B to cover 75 meters, because time is distance by speed. Therefore, I can write TA is equal to 100 by SA is equal to 75 by SB. Similarly, if TB is the time taken by B to cover 100 meters while running at the speed of SB, This is also the time taken by C to cover 96 meters. To cover 96 meters if running at speed SC. So I hope this is clear until here. Okay, so now what we are going to do is that we want the relationship between A and C, because the question is asking in the same race by how many meters can A beat C. So what we will do is that, see, SA is related to SB and SB is related to SC. So I wish to bring SC over here. I wish to bring SC over here. So what I am going to do is that I am going to take SB over here and I will take SC over here. So what can we do? I will get 100 into SC is equal to 96 SB, or I'll bring 96 over here and finally write SB is equal to 100 by 96 SC. 100 by 96 SC. This is what this is SB in terms of SC. Now I will substitute SB over here. I will substitute SB over here. Then what do I get? TA is equal to 100 by SA is equal to 75 75 divided by 100 SC by 96. 96 will take it to the numerator. So what do we get? We get 100 by SA is equal to 75 into 96 divided by 100 into SC. Let me just simplify this. 25 3s are 75, 24, 25 4s are 100. 4 4 2s are 20, no, 4 2s are 8, 16 4s are, okay. We have 24. 24 into 3. So it is 4 3s are 12, sorry, 4 3s are 12, 3 2s are 6, 72 SC. So what do we get? We get 100 SA is equal to 72 SC. Meaning what? In the time TA where A covers 100 meters, C covers how many meters? Only 72 meters running at a speed of 7c. This, what does this mean? A beats C by how many meters? A beats C by how many meters? 100 by 72. This is nothing but 28 meters. Therefore, the correct answer is 28 meters. It is option A. So I hope you understood how to solve this particular problem. However, you don't have to do all this drama. I've just done this so that you're able to appreciate the next step that I'm going to do as to how can you get this, how does this all turn out to be. Now, you don't have to, you can skip all this if you understand why. So instead of doing all this, the way you can solve this entire problem is if B covers 100 meters, if B covers 100 meters, then C covers only 96 meters. See here, when B covers 100 meters, C would cover only 96 meters. Then when B would cover only 75 meters, how much would C cover? How much would C cover? What will you get here? Nothing but cross multiply 70 into 96 by 100. Did we not get this here initially? 75 96 by 100. The same thing we are getting here. The only thing that you had to do is, if when B covers 100 meters, C is covering only 96 meters. Then when B covers 75 meters, that is here, see here, when B covers 75 meters, how much would have C covered? Nothing but 75 into 96 by 100. I hope you understood what I'm doing here. This again, if you simplify, 25 3s are 25 4s are, this is 24, 24 into 3 is 72 meters. Therefore, A beats C by 28 meters. Next problem, question number 5. Now, question number 5 is similar to the previous problem, that is question number 4. So here, question number 5 says, in a 100-meter race, A can give B a head start of 10 meters, and C can give a head start of and A can give C a head start of 28 meters respectively. So how much head start can B give C? So how much head start can B actually give C? That is what the question is actually asking for. Now, if you've understood the previous problem, you should be able to do this very simply. Either you can do it by the first method which I did, so if you are finding it difficult to kind of relate. If not, you can simply do it by this method over here. So what the question is trying to say is, when B covers 90 meters, C would cover 72 meters. See here, what is the question saying? Uh, when in a race, A can give B a head start of 10 meters, meaning what? If A and B have a race, when A would cover 100 meters, in the same time B would only cover 90 meters. Similarly, in the same time C would only cover 72 meters. C would only cover 72 meters. That is why A can give a head start of 10 meters to B and a head start of 28 meters to C. Meaning B would be 10 meters behind A, C would be 28 meters behind A when A reaches the finishing line. So I am saying when B finishes 90 meters, C has finished how many meters? Only 72 meters. Then when B covers or completes 100 meters, how much would C have completed? This is nothing but 100 into 72 by 90. 0, 0 cancels. 9 8s are 72. 8 into 10 is nothing but 80 meters. Meaning when B covers entire 100 meters, C would only cover 80 meters. Meaning what? B beats C by 20 meters. Therefore, the correct answer is option C. It is 20 meters. So there are two practice questions over here. If you've understood all the previous questions, you should also be able to solve these two practice questions, and the answers will be posted in the comment section. If you do have any doubts, please do write to us in the comment section. As and when possible, I will be sending in the answers to many of the questions. I do send in sometimes, maybe due to time delay, Namak APSC handle may not be able to post it, but as much as possible, we'll try to do it. So thank you for watching. Please do follow us for more such videos. Thank you.